Knoxville, what is going on? What is going on, Knoxville? Streetlights, Ries Brothers right there. We got them on the phone right now. What's going on, boys? Can you hear us?
What's up? Oh, yeah, loud and clear.
Wonderful, man. So great to finally talk to you guys. You know, I feel like I feel like I know everybody in the scene, but I don't think I've met you guys before. So it's so great to get you guys on and promote your beautiful music. We're going to talk about all that beautiful music here in just a second. But I want to talk about Janice Live first. You guys just had a sold out hometown banger at Janice Live, one of my favorite music venues in the country last night. Tell us about that.
Oh, it was incredible. It was a long time coming. We started this band back in 2012. I was a freshman in high school, and my brother Kevin was still in like 7th grade. We started playing beach bars in our hometown here in Florida. And then we worked our way up, and then Janice was a venue we always wanted to play. And then we started playing it more often, opening for other bands. But this is the first time we got to do our own headline show. And it meant the world to us to have all our hometown fans come out and support us. A lot of new faces in the crowd, a lot of familiar ones too, who kind of grew up with. They grew up coming to our bar shows, and now they get to see us at Janice. So it was a very special moment for sure.
That place is so special. It really is. I mean, the staff over there is always so welcoming. I mean, front and back of the house, the fans and everything. I mean, it's just a special place. And St. Pete's a special place.
Absolutely.
Reggae Rise Up and all that. So, man, I mean, you touched on it a little bit about your band, but I want to go into it a little bit more for everyone who does not know about you guys. Tell us about the band. You guys have a crazy resume and so many crazy stories along the way. And you guys started really wicked early, too. Tell us a little bit more about the Ries Brothers before we get into the deeper stuff.
Sure. So my name is Charlie. I'm the drummer and singer, and I play all our bass lines on a keyboard bass that I set up to my left, and that means I'm the whole rhythm section. And my brother Kevin here handles all the strings.
Yep, I'm Kevin. I play guitar, ukulele, bass, melodica, and theremin. Yeah.
And so usually we're just a duo, two-piece, and we've been touring the country full-time since 2018. Occasionally we bring in, we have a keyboardist we work with and a saxophonist we'd like to bring in from time to time. We had them out last night. But most of the time it's just my brother and I as a duo touring the country.
And that is, you know, the whole idea of brothers in bands, believe it or not, especially in the reggae scene, is not super rare. You look at Skip and Evan from Indubious, back when the Tribal Seeds had Steve and T-Ray. You look at Pacifier. It's pretty crazy. Tell everybody what it's like to be in a touring band, a real band, you know, with your brother.
I'd say it's a lot of fun, honestly. Music helps us get along. We get along a lot better than I see, a lot of other people with their brothers. And just because we have that on-stage bond and we kind of know where each other's going, we do a lot of improvising on stage, and we can always feel each other out. Like when he's going off on a solo, I know where he's going to go, so I'll follow him on the drums. And just because we have that unspoken bond on stage, it carries off stage. So we get along a lot better than you think, actually, because we share, obviously, every day together in the van or hotel room. And there's occasional fights, but that's with any band, and definitely enjoyed playing with him. What's your experience?
Yeah, I agree. We definitely get along more playing. Definitely fight when we were younger, for sure, but we have this... it's cool because when we're on stage, we can definitely freestyle, and we know exactly where we're going to go with it. It's just a feeling on stage, honestly, for sure.
Yeah, man, it's so crazy. I was thinking about it when I was writing the questions. I was like, there are a lot of brothers in our scene that that are in bands. Right. So that's so cool, man. You know, if you guys are just tuning in, you're late, but it's okay. It's okay. We got the Ries Brothers from the Tampa area, St. Pete area, west coast of Florida, in talking with us. We're so stoked to have you. Real quick, how can everybody find you before we go on?
Yeah, we're on all social media, Instagram at Ries Brothers, Ries Brothers, Twitter, Facebook, Facebook fan club, Ries Brothers fan club. Join that, and you'll be the first one to know about new releases and upcoming shows. Follow us on Spotify. Spotify's at Ries Brothers, Pandora, YouTube, all that good stuff. Apple Music.
All the interwebs and streams and all that good stuff. Hey, you got a new single coming up. We're going to talk about that in a second, but you guys just touched on your fan group. I did a little post in there, and I said, if anybody comments here, we're going to use a fan question, and here is one from Daniel Glasso. Sorry. Aside from your hometown shows, where is your favorite place to play, boys?
Ooh, that's a good one. Definitely a few. So I'd say one of our favorite places to go play is Colorado, Denver in particular. We always have a great time there. We love going out to the West Coast, San Diego, and LA, and up to Santa Cruz are always amazing. And also Texas is always really good to us.
Yeah, we love Texas.
We just played Dallas last week with David Shaw from the Revivalists. That was an awesome show. And they always give us a lot of love out there. So we're going to come through the next few months and do some Texas headline shows, working those out now.
Interesting that you bring up Texas. I love Texas. When we tour in Texas, it's a surprise. Like, a lot of people think it's like, oh, it's going to be Dirk and Cowboy. Yeah, but there's also this super powerful, energetic, very unique group of I don't call them fans, but family, music lovers out there. I mean, you got one of my favorites, Stubbs, in Austin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and you go into Dallas too, man.
A few years ago. Stubbs is amazing.
Yeah. Stubbs is such. I mean, and Dallas too. I mean, they have an artsy district that I never knew, before. That's interesting that you brought up Texas. Everybody out there, man, if you're a band that wants to look into touring, or if you're a family that wants to go check out some live music, Texas is definitely a big, giant state full of beautiful people and amazing music venues. Guys, so I got to say this, man, the reggae scene is very interesting. We really are open to anyone, even if they're not 100% reggae. And you guys are a perfect example. And Little Stranger is a perfect example, among others.
Yeah.
How did you guys find yourself at home in the reggae scene?
It started with us just being a big fan of the music. And we always, when we played the beach bar gigs back in the day, they were like 4-hour gigs, so we had a lot of time to fill. So we'd do classic rock, we'd do blues, and then we'd do a lot of reggae too. And we always loved playing it, and we always loved listening to it. Kevin got into Jack Johnson first, and that Jack Johnson to cover Bad Fish, led us into Sublime, led us into Revolution and Stick Figure, and then from there, we just got engulfed in the scene. And then we kind of noticed, as we were looking to get out of the bar scene and looking to start touring, that all the bands from our area that were doing cool stuff and playing bigger shows were reggae bands. Those were the only bands actually, doing something awesome around here. So we got in touch with them and wanted to learn from them and how to kind of break out from this area and get on the road and so we kind of got embraced by the scene early. And even though we're not 100% reggae, we totally embraced the culture of it and the sense of family that happens at all the shows. And it's something very unique that you don't see in a lot of other scenes. So we've always loved that about it. And, so as we kind of branch out and going forward, we're, playing more in the jam scene and the rock scene, but the reggae scene is always going to be a big part of our journey and a special place in our hearts always. And we're always going to come back and play reggae festivals and play for the reggae crowd. They've helped us so much over the years.
It is a family. I mean, there's families in every scene of genres, but this one is very unique in that, like what I was saying, in the question, we welcome good good energy, good vibes. You don't necessarily have to be reggae. And that's
Right.
usually not what happens on tour packages for other genres. You know, it's a very rare thing. It's like if you're in the family, you're in the family. Who cares if you play reggae music or not?
Exactly. Like we toured 3 times now with G-Love, and
Mhm.
he's another great example. He plays Cali roots. He's embraced by the scene, but he's not a reggae artist. He has that same. He just has that sense of just having a good time and really treating your fans like family and so and we love that the scene can embrace fans that aren't just straight reggae because that opens it up to a lot more people too.
It sure does. If you guys are just tuning in, you're listening to the Simmer Down radio program. If you're just tuning in, once again, you are really late now, but it's okay. We got the Ries Brothers on the phone, man. They just crushed a sold out banger at Janice Live last night. We're talking about life, we're talking about everything. But hey, everybody wants to know, man, what's coming up? And hey, you got a brand new single featuring Iration. It's such a banger. It's just this feel good summer groove. Tell us about what's coming up and this brand new single that just dropped.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you dig it. We're super happy to get this one out. We've been working on this song since like back November 2020 is when we kind of started the process with Iration. So we got to tour with them right before the shutdowns happened. They were the last tour we went on. Was their Heat Seekers Winter Tour in February 2020. And we got to know the guys, and they were just such amazing people. And we've been listening to them since we were like in middle school, so it was awesome to get to play with them. And then we had another tour booked with them. We were going to go out on the spring tour in 2020, but that one got canceled. So when we couldn't tour anymore, we decided let's go in the studio, let's use this time wisely. And first thing we did was message Iration and say, since we didn't get to do this tour, we really want to collab because we've been big fans, and we got to know them. Like I said, we got to know them pretty well on the road, and they could not have been better to us. And we had a lot of back and forth getting the groove right and sending stuff since they're in Cali and we're in Florida. We had to work remote, but like we got finally got the groove right, and we were so stoked when Micah sang his part. He crushed it. Micah Brown played some guitar also and some background vocals on there. And so much love to Iration and the Iration fam out there and the fans for being a part of the track. And I want to thank the Iration fans who've been listening and embracing it. It's been doing really well. It only came out 2 days ago, and we're really excited to see how far the song can go. And as far as what's coming up next, our plan is to release a new single every month for the next 7 or 8 months. I think we're going to go the single route for a little while just so there's constant content coming, and we want each song to have its moment and not get overshadowed by just putting out a whole album right now. And we're hitting the road again mid-August. We've got festivals in Ohio, Illinois, and Montana, and then in between we're going to be doing a lot of headline shows that we're going to announce on 21st. So we're very excited to get back to touring full-time because it was definitely boring when we couldn't tour.
Yeah, the Jamdemic is officially over.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's got. I was just I was talking with Evan from Indubious last night, and we were just talking about life and like this thing that's kind of happening that people aren't really talking about, but everybody is really feeling it. Going back to this old version of what we used to do in life. Is very interesting. Have you guys found any kind of weird things, weird feelings happening, or great feelings happening just after this whole thing and going back to what we all used to do? It's just slightly different, I think.
It is. It's weird, and there's a lot about touring that we used to like complain about, whether it's long drives or early morning, and like as coming back to it, I found myself like appreciating those moments instead of complaining about them. I was like, oh, I haven't felt this in a while, like the nerves before a show or something like that, where I used to like, I used to hate those nerves, but now I'm like, oh, I have them. That means we're back. So I guess I have a bigger appreciation for getting to play shows in front of people and to interact with fans and to just be out there on the road. 'Cause that's where we feel like we really fit in the most, is when we're out there doing our thing, meeting new people every night. And so, yeah, I'd say, like, just for, like, the little things that you would never think about, we have a new appreciation for them, yeah.
Very good point, for sure. That's interesting. I mean, I'm not tour manager anymore. I've come back home to Knoxville and met my soulmate and who's now my co-host. It's so crazy, and then like all this life is coming back, and it's just like this jumble of emotions and thoughts and like social anxiety I've found. Going out, hanging out with people again, going to a couple shows, doing a little work, doing some, photography or interviews again, stuff like that, getting out to festivals. It's just slightly different. It's just not quite what it was. But that's the cool thing about life. It's always a surprise. You never know what's coming up, man. Guys,
Yeah, exactly.
real quick, one more time, how can we find you?
Yeah, follow us on all social media at Ries Brothers, RIES.
And if you, follow us on Spotify, it's just Ries Brothers, like you said, RIES, Ries Brothers. We'll be putting out a new single each month for the next 8 months, and then hopefully an EP after that, and then a full length. So if you follow us on Spotify, and also if you join our Ries Brothers fan club on Facebook, you'll get the inside scoop on when everything's coming out.
Perfect. I've got 2 more questions for you. Number one, you guys have a you're very good at going with the flow and making things happen. Me and Peter Raspler, 311's manager, have been very close for many, many years. And I remember reading, I think the other day, and then I remember hearing about it a while back, like going and doing a pre-party for the cruise, and then like after the show, management coming up to you guys and being like, yo, you want to get on the boat with us? Tell us about, I just want to hear about that story, because you guys, like, your resume is crazy, and you're just always, seems like you're always down. You're like, you know what? Yep, we'll make that happen. No problem.
Yeah, that's the way we've always been and always will be. Like, we've had things where we got a festival offer when we were already on a tour, and like, one day is in Portland, the next day is in South Carolina. We're like, oh, we'll make that happen. We'll figure it out. We'll find the flight, and just, we make it happen. But for the 311 cruise, luckily it leaves out of Tampa, so that helps. And we were playing the pre-party in Tampa the night before it left. And, so much love to Peter, because he came up to us after, and he said, well, what are you guys doing this week? And we actually had we had a show on that Saturday in Brooklyn, actually, at the Brooklyn Bowl, that we were going to fly up to New York to do. So I told him we just had that, but, other than that, we're free. So he said, well, what do you guys think about coming on the boat? And we were freaking out. We were so excited. But I knew we would have to, we already committed to the Brooklyn show, and it was a big show up there, playing with some of the members of Widespread Panic.
Yeah, it's a big
So we're like, we can't cancel that, but we cannot say no to this. So we're going to find a way to make this work. So I called up our manager, David Parnes, shout out to you. And one of his nighttime rituals, he plays his Ambien before he goes to bed. So at this particular night, he had already taken it. And I called him like, well, I think we're going to get an offer for the 311 cruise. And then, but I know we have this New York show. We have to figure out how to make this work right now. And he was in a race against time before the Ambien kicked in to try to get all these moving pieces around. So what we did is we got to play the first 3 nights of the cruise down in the club stage. It was fantastic. We met amazing people on the boat that we still see at our shows today in so many different cities. So it was a huge building block for our career. Absolutely was. So, but we knew we had to get off early, so we found a way to get off in Costa Maya, found a taxi that drove us 4 hours to the desert in Mexico to get to, I think we flew out of Cancun. get to Cancun, and then flew to New York City to play the Brooklyn Bowl the next day. So, but that's an example of us saying, you know what, let's just make it happen. Like, yeah, it's going to be tough, like, logistically, but let's just figure it out because you can't say no to these opportunities, you know?
I mean, that is such a boss move. I mean, yes, I mean, you get the 311 cruise offer. Yeah, we're going. Absolutely, yes.
Sure.
Absolutely, yes. But then, you know, some bands would be like, well, calling the Brooklyn Bowl, you know, we ain't going to make it. And they're going to be pissed. And you
Right.
probably won't play there again if that would have happened.
Exactly.
But the boss move is you guys literally figured out how to do the cruise and then get back to New York. So you pleased everyone. Shout out to David Parnes and the Ambien.
Absolutely.
I mean, I love David, man. I've known David for quite a while, and you know, he set this whole thing up with us tonight. I mean, that is such a boss move. Everybody out there, all the bands out there, you better recognize that. That's how you do it.
Always take every opportunity you can get, you know.
Absolutely, man. One more question for you. Thank you guys so much for calling in. It's been great chatting with you, man. Like, I got to come out and see a show. I can't believe we haven't met before. I've been rolling around the scene like a beach ball for many, 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 many years, and I have not met you guys. So I'm going to make it a thing to get out and see a Ries Brothers show. And everybody out there listening, you should too. At RIESBROTHERS on all the social media. One more question. Everybody gets this. What does reggae mean to you guys?
Well, that's a good question. So my brother Kevin here, he's really got me into reggae, so I'll let him answer first.
Let's see. Reggae. What it means to me is the first word that comes to mind is just family. The whole scene is connected. Every band is rooting for each other. There's no. It's all an amazing family, and you really don't see it in a lot of genres. Like it's really awesome to see. It's just good vibes all the time. The reason I got into reggae is just the feel of it. You know, it's reggae. It's something you feel. It's not something you listen to. It's really something you feel, and that's how I feel playing reggae too. Like once we're in that reggae groove, like it just feels so right. And an example is like I'm a terrible drummer, but I can play reggae music because I just feel it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say for me, I was gonna say family also, and it's about the groove and it's about the love, and it's like it's got a groove, you know, that's unlike any other genre that you can just really lock in and just you feel something different. Something with that offbeat, something with those reggae skanks that just hits you and it just feels right. And a big thing is just love between the bands and each other and the bands and their fans. And just how much the bands support each other and how the fans will show up early and see the openers and support them, and they're always looking for new music, and usually it's not a snobby crowd. It's not a, you know, they come to show some love, even if they don't know the band, and that means a lot to us because we spend a lot of our career as an opening act, which always, you know, when you go out as an opener, you don't know if anyone's going to like you. You don't know if anyone in the crowd's heard of you, but getting through that in the reggae scene it just feels different. We feel like we're embraced a lot as an opener because the fans really support the music, even if they don't know the band. They're just out there to support, and that's what we love about it.
Well, guys, you weren't the opener last night. You headlined one of the biggest bangers, Janice Live, and many more to come. It was so great to talk to you. Kevin, Jordan, and Charlie of the Ries Brothers. Check it out. They got a brand new single we're going to spin right after this called Don't Want to Be Late featuring Iration. Boys, thank you so much. And tell David to keep taking it. Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for calling in. Right now, we're going to spin Don't Want to Be Late. Brand new drop from the Ries Brothers from Florida featuring Iration. Thank you, boys, so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Peace and love.
Peace.